Look, guys, you can't use an SM7B without also buying a Cloudlifter. Is something that you hear a lot of online when you go to buy one of these. But here we are. We're using the raw audio right now directly from the microphone, and it sounds pretty decent. So what then is the point of a Cloudlifter or another, similar mic booster? Right here I've got the Triton Audio. They all do the same thing. They make it louder. The purpose is to reduce the noise floor. So simply, the SM7B is a really quiet microphone. You probably already know this. So to get it up to a usable level, you have to crank the gain, you have to boost the volume somewhere, and usually along the way you get some static, some hiss, something introduced in the background. So at the quiet moments, you can hear a lot of unpleasant static. So right now, what I'm going to do is insert this in between the mic and the preamp. And carefully, we're going to lower the gain until that looks like that should be, that looks like about the same level that we were at before. So, does it sound all that different? Probably not. Ideally, it should sound exactly the same. The one place where we should notice a difference is in the complete silence. In between words, you should hear less static. We're going to test the noise floor at 3 levels, worst to best. Right now, we've got the mic plugged in, no booster, and the preamp, which is a Behringer UMC 404. It's pretty mid-tier. It's about on par with a Focusrite Scarlett. It's probably where most of you are at. So we've got the gain set to about halfway on there. The total output is super quiet, so we're really going to need to bump up the gain in post, and that's going to pull up a lot of static. This is kind of simulating if you have a really, really cheap preamp, or you're using a camera preamp, something of that sort. So this is a worst case scenario if you don't have a halfway decent preamp. I'm going to leave the room, so there should be dead silence, except for the occasional bird, and we'll see how the noise floor stacks up back to back. Now I've raised the gain back up to about 90%. This is probably a more typical use case scenario if you have like a Focusrite or a Behringer preamp and you are not using a booster. And finally, with a booster and with the preamp back at about 50%. So, should you buy a booster? I did the test so you can draw your own conclusions. From what I've seen, they're nice to have. You probably don't need a Cloudlifter. You can get perfectly decent ones for $50 and under. If you're talking right up next to the microphone all the time, there's probably not a strong need for it. Especially if you're singing loudly into the microphone, I think you'll be fine without it, but it's always nice to have a lower noise floor, just one less thing to worry about. If you're talking very far away from the mic, just using it to pick up the room noise, you'll almost definitely need one. So, yeah, that's all I've got. It's a pretty simple test, but I hope it helps you out.